Hello and welcome to first grade orientation at Solar Preparatory School for Boys. I hope this presentation finds you well and gives you a better idea of what to expect next year for your scholar. What is the difference between kindergarten and first grade? Well, I'm really glad that you asked. We'll be focusing on several things throughout the year, but some of the main ones you need to be aware of are that in kindergarten, a lot of scores are based on listening comprehension, while in first grade, we want to foster more of independent reading comprehension. This means we're going to move from the kids hearing all the stories from me to them reading them on their own and being able to comprehend it themselves. As far as numbers go, in kindergarten, scholars compose and decompose numbers. In first grade, we'll be looking at numbers through the lens of a place value lens. So we're going to work on knowing where numbers are in a place value chart, as well as work on mathematical fluency. In kindergarten, as far as writing goes, scholars write between 1 and 3 sentences. In first grade, scholars will write at least a paragraph, and we will be focusing on proper letter formation, spacing, proper grammar, and punctuation. There are 3 things that you can do to prepare your scholar for the first grade. Those 3 things are handwriting, focusing again on that correct letter formation because that's going to be crucial when it comes time for our writing workshops, practicing those sight words, whether that's just reading and writing them or maybe putting them on some flashcards and quizzing your scholar. And then number recognition. Again, quizzing them using flashcards, maybe taking a look at a hundreds chart, exposing your scholar to a number line and where those numbers fall in a number line, and then having your scholar fill in some missing numbers. If you were to write out 1 blank 3 4, having them write in the number where it belongs. What to expect in first grade math. The units that we will be covering are number sense, addition and subtraction, place value, geometry and fractions, time and measurement, coins, and graphing. To this side on my left, you will see what we will be direct teaching, or how we will be direct teaching. The students will be grouped by their level or ability for that current unit. And then the demonstration of learning will be aligned to the daily learning objective. This will be the same for all of our subjects in first grade. What can I do to help during the summer? Below you will find several ideas to help you and your scholar to set yourself up for success next fall. I won't read all of them, but some of them that are really fun could be playing the I Spy number game. Telling your scholar, hey, I spy a number that is 1 or 10 more or 10 less than blank. So the way this would look is, I spy a number that is 10 less than 17. Can you tell me what that number is? Or maybe you have your scholar think about some story problems that they can use for addition and subtraction. Have them write down the story, maybe draw it out, solve it, and write a number sentence to match. What to expect in first grade writing. Again, we're going to model and guided practice. We're going to have teacher and student conferencing. And the units that we're going to be covering are, what is a writer's workshop? We're going to teach your scholar all about what a writer's workshop is, the steps of the writing process, and how this is going to help them be successful. After we discuss what a writer's workshop is, we're going to have our scholars write a personal narrative, have some opinion writings, some fairy tale and realistic fiction, a how-to writing piece, and a persuasive letter. What can I do to help during the summer? There are several things, again, that you can read through that are going to help you help your scholar be successful in the fall. The main things that I want to highlight are being able to identify punctuation marks and where those punctuation marks go in a sentence, and when to use certain ones, like when it's appropriate to use a period versus a question mark. And really focus on that handwriting. Handwriting is so crucial and something that we need to explicitly teach. so your help during the summer helps set your scholar up for success. What to expect in first grade science. Science is so much fun in first grade. We're going to have a lot of hands-on experimental learning. We're going to focus on generating questions and using those questions to help us solve a problem. We're going to focus on comparing and contrasting, working with groups or teams, observing patterns, surroundings, materials, and we're also going to focus really heavily on organizing our thoughts and recording the information that we are seeing. A really fun example from this last year in first grade is we were given from the Dallas Arboretum, we were given some beetles, and we were able to look at their life cycle and observe and record what their life cycle looked like. So that's just one example of the fun that we're going to have in first grade science. The units that we're going to cover are matter and energy, force and motion and sources of energy, earth and space, organisms and their environments. What can I do to help during the summer? Well, again, there are lots of things that you can do, but of the most important, it would be make sure you're getting out and exploring the world around you and having your scholar practice what it means to observe those surroundings and have them record what they're seeing or what they're noticing. You can also explore any science video that's available to you on BrainPop Junior. What to expect in first grade reading. Again, I really would like to harp on the fact that in first grade reading, we are moving those scholars from a point of listening comprehension to independent reading comprehension. So we're going to take these scholars and mold them from being able to simply listen to what's read to them being actually able to read what text is in front of them. We will do this by modeling guided practice and independent practice. And we're also going to group these scholars by their reading level. The units we're going to cover basically everything but fiction, nonfiction, fiction versus nonfiction, fairy tales, as well as guided reading. What can I do to help during the summer? These things are all important, but I would really like to highlight this daily 20 minutes of reading. This can be the scholar really practicing reading on their own or having you read to them, having them retell the plot of this story. So being able to identify the setting and the characters, the problem and the resolution, as well as practice making connections. One of my favorite things to see is when students are able to take a text and say, this reminds me of blank in my life, or I have a really cute example of one of my boys last year coming up to me with a science encyclopedia and saying, hey, this reminds me of the science book I have at home. So being able to make those connections to the text that they're either being read, having read to them, or they are reading themselves. All right, that is the end of our presentation. Thank you so much. Now we're going to open up the floor for questions.